Welcome everyone to the Side Drive Podcast, and this week we have heard from it a lot. It is called the Roval. We've seen cars crash, we've seen cars off track, cars in space, cars everywhere. So, Xfinity Series, it was their turn. The first race would be the Xfinity Series, and it was more calm than I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought it was be more wrecks than what was involved, but everybody kind of manned their manners, and it's pretty exciting, really.
Yeah, we were there in person to experience it, and it was pretty cool to see in person. So let us know down below if you went and what your thoughts were on this race in person. But before we get into our experience, we're going to review the race a little bit. At the very beginning of the race, Austin Cindric won the pole. Seemed to be one of the fastest cars there. He's a road course guy. He almost won a couple of road courses earlier in the year. And he would lead on the restart. Had a very big lead on Daniel Hemric there. But caution came out lap 2 for the 36. He missed the shift, and he did pretty good in qualifying and just missed that shift there. And
yeah, the car pretty much died right there on the front stretch, and he somehow managed to get back to pit road and got fired back and continued on.
The 76 and the 38 would pit. Cindric would lead again, and then we'd see something we see, unfortunately for Roush, almost every week. The 60 car would spin with 9 to go. No caution though. Kept it on the track, kept it clean. But some major issues with the 60 car. I don't know if it's mechanical or what's going on, but this time it was just a part of the Roval.
Yeah, it's part of the track. It's just, I don't know if you wheel hop or miss a shift or what happens in the race that you just seem to just start sliding and giving a spin.
The race is called Drive for the Cure. I think that was for the 60 car. cure the curse. The curse on the 60 car. It's just unfortunate for that team. Hopefully they can bounce back at Dover. I believe that's their next race. So the 98 and the 20 car would pit, 3 to go. Also the 90. Austin Cindric though would spin right in front of Daniel Hemric, and that would pass the lead on to Daniel Hemric. But luckily for Cindric, he was able to get it back on the road cleanly and still finished 4th in that stage.
Yeah, he really didn't lose a whole lot of spots right there. I don't know. I mean, he just spun around and somehow managed to go on and not lose that many spots. I mean, he really had a really great car.
And Daniel Hemric would win stage 1. In second place would have Cole Custer, then Tyler Reddick, and then of course Austin Cindric, and then Justin Marks making his final NASCAR Xfinity Series start, making his final Cup start tomorrow in the Bank of America Roval 400. So he ran pretty well in this race, and we'll see how he does in the rest of it.
Yes, he did very, very well all day and kept it in top 5 mostly, and that's one way you want to finish your career, I guess. And it's really good to see him run up there and be competitive.
Daniel Hemric would stay out, and this would kind of confuse me a little bit, because I was thinking, you're gonna have old tires, you got guys new tires right behind you, but it seemed like tires wasn't much of an issue here at this race.
Yeah, it really seemed like there's a whole lot of fall off. I mean, everybody, stay on long runs, and especially him, he handled his own up there.
But Briscoe would take the lead from him, and Briscoe, I didn't think he had the best car throughout all the practices and qualifying. He was around there, but I didn't think he would be so dominant like he was as soon as he got the lead. And I think he did an awesome job staying up front. We'd have a spinner for the 15 of Catherine Legg, and
right in front of the whole field. I mean, she's just spun right there, and somehow everybody managed to get around her.
Yeah, a lot of skill in these Xfinity cars, and the drivers just knew how to race this race, and I think that's
Yeah, especially with the track being so narrow as it is through the road course portion of the race, and just actually spin right there, and everybody get out real cleanly is really good.
another spin for Brendan Gaughan. He would spin, no caution, with 6 to go. And that was a tricky part of the track. He just spun out, and a lot of people going around him, and he's just sitting there like, "Hi, how you doing?" And but he managed to go on. Then Daniel Hemrick would pit from the second position with 4 to go. That's one of those strategies, trying to stay up front when they would come back out. And also the 22 and the 51 would follow. And then as they were exiting pit road, we had a issue with the 7 and the 39, and also the 22. The 22 just nudges the 7 just barely. The 7 spins around, and the 39 just T-bones him really hard. Didn't really have any damage on the 7 that I could see, but the 39, man, park it right in Dale Jr.'s graveyard.
Yeah, really tore up the whole front end. I was actually listening to Justin Allgaier's radio, and where Ryan Sieg hit him, it was right in the rear tire, somewhere in that area, and messed something up with the, I don't know if it was the suspension or track bar or what it was. I know he talked about it. It was handled a little different after that, but they didn't really want to decide to come in and change anything. It was still drivable, and so yeah, I didn't really see a whole lot of damage on the 7, but I guess mechanically it really hurt the car.
And Christopher Bell, as the leaders would pit, Bell would have somewhat of a battle with Cole Custer right behind him, but Bell would win the stage, and that's important for these playoffs. He's already locked in, didn't have anything to worry about here at all. You just get more playoff points, increasing that lead. You had Allgaier, who had issues. You're just, increasing that lead, and then if Allgaier somehow misses the next round because of issues that he's had the past couple of races, he could just cruise on to Miami. So stage 3 would begin. Everyone else was probably thinking everything's going to happen now. A lot of crazy stuff is about to happen. And then we have a traffic jam on the restart.
Yeah, I said them already. So.
You don't have to drive I-77. The drivers are driving it for you. We had the 90 of Andy Lally, I believe that was his name. The 3 Brendan Gaughan, Truex, and once again, sadly, the 60 car. Now, I believe he went to the garage after that, just too much damage, but it looked like he got, loose or tight in a turn and just slammed Truex in the wall and spun the 3 around. Everybody's just like honking the horns, get out of my way. 3 car, what are you doing? That's not how you drive. But, yeah, that would cause a caution, and I believe everybody that was, trapped up in that traffic jam was so thankful that they didn't get that far behind because of that. And the 98 would lead on the next restart. And a couple laps after that, the 39 Ryan Sieg had just a different look, a different body out there. His entire hood was flown off, and
yeah, like a modified car, but the hood was all sitting up on top of the car.
My hood's way up here. He's probably thinking, which way to Dale Jr.'s graveyard? I can't seem to find it. But he would cause a caution for debris with 14 to go. Allgaier would pit, 13 to go under caution, and Chase Briscoe would lead on the restart. His only threat really was Daniel Hemrick, and Hemrick would miss the chicane, and he had to do a stop and go penalty. And if you miss that chicane, you have to stop right there at the C in Charlotte and let a couple cars go by. He was P14, but he managed to make his way up to the top 10 before the end of the race.
Yes, he really had a really strong car. I think it's the only one that probably could have beat Briscoe, but unfortunately, he has some bad luck towards the end of the race.
And Chase Briscoe, I mean, man, what a season he's had. He's won Eldora. He won the last race for Brad Keselowski last season before that team shut down. He goes on to win Eldora, and now he wins an Xfinity race at the very first time that we're going to a Roval, road course / oval, and he's just making history in this car.
Yeah, I used to really enjoy watching him running the truck series, the 29 truck, and it was a very competitive event too. And for him to come into the Xfinity and not really run entirely all the races, but to be getting the 98 car for Stuart Haas and to kind of dominate the Roval, and he just kind of took charge of it.
Yeah, Stuart Haas has got to feel great about this. I mean, they're on the pole for tomorrow's race. Kurt Busch had an awesome lap out there, which really surprised me because his car didn't seem like too great in practice, and then goes out in qualifying, just shows them how it is, and then now Chase Briscoe wins in the Xfinity Series, so they have the first pole in the Cup Series and the first win in the Xfinity Series. Will they back that up tomorrow? We'll have to see, have to wait, and it's gonna be hard to sleep. It's gonna be too excited. It's like the next morning's Christmas, and you're gonna see what Santa brought you, but it's just gonna be one crazy race tomorrow.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe, he's got some lot of bragging rights right now. He says, "I won the Roval. I own this place now."
Yeah, a lot of people will have to look back at how, they only have one race now to look back on for taking notes for next year, and he can say that he will be the one they'll be looking for.
Yep.
But the way that the points go, Briscoe is not in the playoffs. He's just a part-time driver, so it's kind of an upset for him to win. No one locks themselves in. Christopher Bell can sleep very peacefully that he is not joined by anyone who is safe. Daniel Hemrick, who is second, he's pretty much safe. Still not out of the blue, still not out of the forest, woods, whatever you call it. But, as long as he keeps a clean race at Dover, he should be fine. Same thing can be said for Reddick and Custer. And then we have Tift, Sadler, but Allgaier, Sadler, and Ross Chastain are very close to the edge. You got Cindric just a few points behind Chastain. We got Ryan Truex, Ryan Reed, and Brandon Jones in last in the playoff standings. And who do you think is going to be the four that will be out next week?
Well, it's looking this more like probably Brandon Jones, Ryan Reed, Ryan Truex, and I think Austin will probably make it if he does a good race. Chastain may be questionable.
Yeah, I think Chastain, if he stays in the 4 car, he's most likely going to be out this round. I think if he didn't have that 42 car at Richmond, he'd be way far down the list right now. But those playoff points that he got for the Vegas race really helped him. But he doesn't have the 42 car to propel him to a championship. So I don't think it's happening this year for him, but he could rebound next year. We'll see what he can do, possibly in the 42 car or whatever ride he lands.
Yeah, if he just maintains that gap between him and Cindric, he may possibly stay in the playoffs, but and it really depends on how Austin's race goes.
And Austin and Chastain's going to be worried about Truex, Reed, and Jones. If they somehow win Dover, neither one of them may be getting in.
Yeah, because it could knock them both out. So.
Another one to really worry about is Allgaier. He's had bad races the past 2 races. He had a decent race at the Roval. He just had that issue there. But if that happens again at Dover, we could see one of the Xfinity Series Big 3 per se out in the first round.
Yeah, because You know, he had a kind of bad race last week, and then this week he kind of managed to salvage the top 15. So maybe some playoff jitters going on there.
Yeah, and he's going to Dover, which last time he went to Dover, he had a cucumbered win, as the team says. They have that little sticker with the cucumber over that win. He's looking to get some revenge for that racetrack. You know, redemption there. You know, he won the race, but it wasn't official, so he wants to win it to be like, yeah, I can actually win this race without those issues. But next week, of course, we are going to Dover, so it's time to make our picks. Our picks this week did pretty good at the Roval. We had Daniel Hemrick and Cindric ran top 10, top 5 almost all day. So we're getting there with these picks. We're getting close. But as for Dover, who do you think will survive the final race in round 1?
Well, like we was talking about, I believe Justin Allgaier is going to come back and redeem himself in the last 2 weeks and try to get some revenge on the Dover.
And I'm going to pick his teammate Elliott Sadler. He's looking for that final win in his last season, looking for a great championship run. And I think, you know, he came close last time we went to Dover, and he's also looking for that revenge because he came inches away to winning that race. And I think we'll see some junior motorsports kind of a rivalry going on here.
So what are your thoughts about the Roval, your experience today?
It was interesting. I mean, it was something new. We haven't seen anything quite like it before, or at least me, you know. You know, it was cool to be a part of it in person, and it was a lot calmer than I expected it. Yeah. But I think that's just because like the lower horsepower in these cars, and I think the cup race is still going to be wild, still going to have crashes almost everywhere. In any corner, anywhere that there's pavement, there's going to be a wreck there probably. But yeah, it's something new, and you know, they took a chance on it, and I think they succeeded.
Yes, you know, we've been going there for years, and we got used to the Roval, not Roval, but going to the oval shape, and used to the cars going, you know, scattered out and, you know, going full blast, and to see them calm down, and it's like, where they at? And so it's a new experience, and I really liked it. And when the race is over, I was wanting more. I was like,
let's do another one.
Come on. So it really got me excited for the Cup race, and I can't wait to see how it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You know, it's just cool to see them trying something, because, you know, if we went to the regular oval, I mean, of course, you know, we're going to be there no matter what. You know, if they did a triangle out there, we'd go, you know, whatever shape that they are, we're true NASCAR fans, we're going to be there. Even if they do like a 3D shape where they go up a long hill, I don't know. But, you know, I think it's cool that they're trying something different, because normally the casual NASCAR fan would not attend this race. You know, because, you know, a lot of people on Twitter are like, you know, we're going to another mile and a half. We're going to see Christopher Bell or Allgaier just get way out to a huge lead. And that's something that appeals to NASCAR fans who's been here for a long time. But for the casual fans, you know, they seem to not be interested in that. And, you know, the Roval causes a unpredictability, and that intrigues them.
Yeah, I believe a lot of other tracks that might have come looking at the Roval, see how the action is going to be, how the race is going to be, and how the fans going to react to it. And we may see this at other tracks too, so I don't know.
Yeah, we could see a oval in the spring, and then all Rovals in the fall. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see where NASCAR goes with this. Would be kind of cool if Charlotte is the only one, though.
Yeah, it'll be, unique. I do miss the night racing. I think night racing was cool. Xfinity and the cups in the fall. It's kind of cool, and it's just, we get used to the normal, but sometimes you like to change it up a little bit, and it was still good.
Yeah, I think NASCAR is going towards new changes. As for like long-term fans, we got so used to the way things were, and now it's come to a point where they have to change things. We may see a different package next year, which we may do a video on that eventually, but I think it's time to adapt to changes, and I think this change has been a great one, and I applaud them for it. 10 out of 10. It was awesome to attend. It was awesome to see the strategy, and also it was really cool to see Briscoe get his first win.
Yeah, it was a really awesome all around. Really, nobody knew what was going to happen in the race or what it was. I know they come here Thursday, and they never turn a lap here. A lot of them got on iRacing trying to figure out the track and see what they can do. And really, the Xfinity cars did very well in all 4 practices.
Yeah, so that was our review of the Roval. If you are not a fan of road courses or Rovals, if you just don't like Rovals, don't worry. Next week we are going to an oval, going to Dover Monster Mile. We're going to 2 different monsters. The Roval could be a monster in itself as well. So it's going to be back to normal next week. So
yeah, it's also exciting news this week. Daniel Hemrick's going to have a full-time ride in the Cup Series.
Yeah, so Hemrick has graduated from our Xfinity reviews to our Cup reviews. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that video or this podcast, and let us know what you thought of the Roval. Was it great? Was it bad? Was it kind of neutral? You haven't really made a decision yet? Just let us know, and also if you were there at the race, tell us how your experience was. So we'll see you next week, and it was awesome to be a part of the Roval.